question for everybody because
we'll be the judge of that.
Well, okay. Oh, the pressure. Oh my God.
You can apply the 4 horsemen to this podcast group. Like,
no, I was
who's going to get divorced?
Me and Lindsay right now.
Okay, no, this is about the book. So the book's Talking to Strangers. You guys were saying how the book is about how the implicit bias that we have when we meet somebody, when we're talking to somebody that's a stranger. So I was interested if any of you have met someone that's a stranger and right off the bat have had some kind of like bias or thinking that they're going to be exactly a certain way. And by talking to them or having those conversations, you found out the complete opposite.
Yeah, when I first visited Senegal for the first time, there was because it's like a cultural thing, right? So there was a woman that was a neighbor of my sister-in-law, and she came over, and we were talking. I can't remember what, but at some point she basically said that she needed me to teach me how to keep my husband because I wasn't Senegalese or something, and I took such a she was just being light because it was like a joke. People tease people here all the time, right? Like. It's just it was light. It was something that people wouldn't be offended. It was like women talk, like being kind of like, ooh, okay. But she thought I wasn't good enough for Mamadou or something because of my bias that I came here and I thought she was saying like they weren't accepting of me, right? So I remember going and I was crying in my room and I told them this woman, and then she came another time and she made another little joke. And so the second time I was like crying even more. I'm like, she's just trying to make me feel so bad. And so he told his brother, so they talked to her, and then it was a huge misunderstanding, and she felt super bad. I had no idea. And I feel bad to this day. So she'd come over sometimes and just be like really quiet, like she didn't know. And I felt like super
doesn't know how to talk to you
because it's Senegal, so everyone went and talked to her about it. And what is she doing? Not making his new wife that came visit not feel welcome, and she's like, I didn't do anything. I don't know.
She's just trying to make you feel welcome. She's trying to do the opposite.
Trying to be a friend. Well, also
she's trying to do the opposite, make you feel welcome.
Yeah, so it was fine after, but not really, because then she was always cautious, and then I was always embarrassed, but that happened to me the first time I ever visited Senegal.
I feel like in this scenario, I would be the joking person. I feel like I have been in the joking position before.
I think we probably all have at some point,
where you're like,
right?
Yeah, it's just trying to be fun. No.
Of course. Yeah. We have all put our foot in our mouth for sure. It's like the more I'm trying to not put my foot in my mouth about something, the more I do it, I find.
The more I kick myself in the face.
Yeah, totally.
So I take that question through a different lens where I would like to be able to know people first. Like I'd like when I first see them, I have a good grasp of them. But and I don't know if I think I do or I think I don't, but I've been trying to observe if I do or not. Because I think usually, I know from my history, if I really dislike someone in the very beginning, like this is like high school, then however long later, I'm in love with them. So I have a really strong opposite reaction for some reason. So I started paying attention to that, being like, oh, I hate this person, I'm probably going to marry them. And then although that didn't happen with my husband, I didn't hate him in the beginning. But what I'm noticing now through my job, which so I'm in charge of a house. So multiple people live there, and people have to, come through a process to come into the house to make sure that they're, in the right phase of their life and their recovery to kind of meet the obligations of the house. The house is meant to be a safe place. And sometimes if someone's not ready, they might come in with behaviors that create a challenge for the other people. And so it's important to be able to understand who they are or what they are when they come, right? Are they lying because they just need housing, or are they whatever, right? But what I'm learning always is that you can't know. And so what I do is I just default, I take them at their word. I take anybody at their word. And this is true for everything, but it was become really magnified in my role in my job. but you can never know. And this book is supporting it too. So you just have to believe what people tell you. And my like litmus test is their actions. So after a certain amount of time, their actions will eventually reveal to me whether that they're congruent with their words or they are incongruent, in which case then I can say, well, now I know that you're actually not honest because what you say is not what you do. And so like it's the ultimate of actions speak louder than words. So that's like, I don't know.
Do you ever have a spidey sense though? Like,
definitely.
like
I can tell, like,
yeah.
This is, I don't know how this, we'll just say it. I don't know how this is coming. I can tell men who are like unhealthy. Example, I can tell unhealthy partners. Like, I can tell men who are likely to be abusive. I can tell, like this, a certain type of man in the way that he behaves. I can identify like a level of selfishness, a lack of self-awareness, a level of like, sometimes narcissism takes a minute to get revealed because it's often with great charisma wrapped up, right? But like, I can tell the kind of man who's going to be a terrible person to try to have an argument with, I guess. And obviously if you're in a relationship, that's even harder, right? But I can tell that.
But in your work, then, do you have to go against your spidey sense because that's protocol?
So in my work, it's different. It's like a job interview, right? So if I just meet a regular person who's not trying to do anything to me and try or like get my approval or anything else, and I can just have a chance to observe them 2 or 3 times, I can tell like, ooh, I wouldn't want to be in a relationship with that person. They lack insight. They're self-centered, like whatever. And I can understand where I might feel like they need growth, right? But in my work, it's almost like an interview. So people are bringing their best selves with their answers that they know are probably better, like, or they might be, right? I'm not saying that I'm like trying to like sieve out a bunch of liars or something. People aren't generally coming to me deceptive, but there's a chance. And then also the other thing too is a really major factor is whether you're deceiving yourself. People could be telling lies, but they themselves believe the lies that they're telling. And so that's where that actions versus words really becomes super helpful, because it's like, I know that you really think this about yourself, but the proof is in the pudding. Like,
I always say that to my kids all the time, because they'll say things like, it's a bit different, but I say that to them. They'll say sorry. They'll do things like, I'm sorry about this, or they'll say things and I'm like, I honestly, lovely that you're saying these things, but the only things that matter in life are your actions. Like, saying things are nice, so say them, but if you don't follow them up with an action, they don't mean anything.
Yeah.
Actions are what mean the most.
Like, words matter.
Words are nice, yes, but they're not. If you don't follow up your words with actions, they just fall off.
They erase them.
It's very interesting to me, Sarah, that you feel that way, because you are such a verbally lifted human. Verbal confirmation, verbal
affirmations, like words of affirmation.
Affirmations is so important to you. So that's kind of interesting.
And also words.
But she's getting affirmed for her actions. If people are like, good girl, like you did the thing, she's like, yes, I did do the thing. So that's her actions that are getting acknowledged verbally. But Sarah's point
aren't they maybe sometimes like, I don't know, I imagine, but in a partner relationship, like, you know, your husband saying how there's lots of affirmations that go down, like your beauty or your dinner.
Well, there's that. It depends on the person, though. I mean, I know what you're saying, but at the same time,
I just thought that was interesting for Sarah. Yeah,
like the love languages or whatever. But like some people, words matter more to other people than actions. Do you know what I mean? Like, so, you know, maybe for one of your kids, words do mean more than actions for them.
I think though, in my content, it's like, I'm sorry, I won't do that again.
Yeah, the sorry.
When they're I'm not gonna do that, and you're like, well, you have to not do it then.
Then you have to not do it.
Or you actually have to be sorry. Sorry, an empty sorry means
sorry
nothing.
Is an action word. Yeah.
Like show it, or you know, tomorrow I'll do this, I promise. Well, that's fine.
You don't have to tell me.
If tomorrow comes and you don't do it, then next time I'm not going to believe you. You have to follow up your words with actions. That's what I meant. But you're right. Also telling people that you know, appreciate them and all those, that's important too. I also teach that to the kids because, you know,
You're just saying if they conflict. You can't be like, I really appreciate you making me dinner and then throwing it in the garbage at the same time. You're like, well, the action is kind of telling me
I don't really believe you.
Thank you for making me this delicious dinner. Yeah. Whatever.
Book interrupted.
Okay, this interruption is me just being a little bit more obsessed with tarot cards than I choose to admit. So I'm going to draw one and do a quick interpretation. Yeah! 9 of Cups. This card is the wish card, which means like whatever you want, it's going to come true. This is known as one of the best cards in the tarot deck. It's a symbol of like really good fortune, good health, good relationships, good communication. Like literally it's called the wish card. And so I feel super happy about the cards that I drew today. This is a bit of a series of interruptions and or episodes, so I'm not sure how they'll tie together when we present it, but if you don't know what I'm talking about, you'll have to go back and listen to Off the Shelf. And if you do, then just focus on this.
Book interrupted.
Yeah. Oh, you know what's funny? I just said, I was repeating like, you serious? And then Siri like tried to silence from my screen. He was like, yeah, I'm here. I've been listening this whole time. I've made you a shopping list on Amazon.
Ooh, I hate how it's listening all the time. Like I haven't been searching anything, but I read this book that Squiggy recommended.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was talking to Dan about it. I was reading as I tend to. He'll be like doing something.
Can you say what the book was?
Yeah, sorry about that. What we don't talk about when we talk about Fat by Aubrey Gordon. But just talking to Dan about what the book's about, I'm getting all sorts of ads that I think I don't normally get.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted. So
it's super annoying. I haven't done any Googling or anything.
I recommend the movie Snowden. First of all, in the same sense, I don't know where I got this information from, but it's not that they're listening.
The theme of this podcast.
I know, I don't know anything, but here's some more info that I got from the multiverse. It's not that they're listening, it's that the algorithms are so smart. So like, and this is my really elementary understanding of it, but like, so if my cell phone goes near Mare's cell phone, which it obviously would if I went to visit Mare, then those cell phones like cross-reference the algorithms. And then anyway, so you put in a text, I'm reading that book, Squiggy or whatever, you put it in your phone. So I think it's less like someone's actually listening to us, and the algorithms don't need to listen, I guess is the point of what I learned. It's that like all your Facebook friends, for example, they're factored in, and anything like that, that's how it comes up with these ads. Although the same exact thing happened to me too. I'm going to go completely contradictory now. I was talking about a boot store in like Nelson, BC with a friend of mine, and did not, I don't think, do anything on my phone other than have it present while we talked about that. And then I got an ad for that exact boot store.
Oh yeah, that happens all the time. Yeah.
I've even thought something once and it came up.
Oh. I had it for the sleep types. I had not put it in my phone. I didn't type it to anyone.
Yeah.
We were talking on the podcast, and that night I got an advertising about it. And I was like,
oh yeah, it's always listening.
Easy.
You know what pisses me off about these ads I'm getting for this, what we don't talk about when we talk about fat, is that the ads
are diet ads, aren't they?
Yes! That's what I would guess.
Like, doesn't shock me at all. That doesn't shock me at all.
And it's stuff that's actually ads that are kind of targeting people's anti-fat bias, kind of scare stuff, right? And I was just like, damn it, did you read the book algorithm?
Read the book. Try reading the book algorithm. These ads aren't appropriate at all.
Yeah.
So Meredith's podcast would be called Just Read the Book Algorithm.
Just read the book.
AJ's would be called
I don't know where I got
I heard
this
somewhere.
Somewhere. And I don't have any of the information.
Somewhere about someone. And it was about something.
Or AKA Lindsay's Nightmare.
That's great.
Funny.
If you've enjoyed these video highlights, listen to the full episode on our YouTube channel or wherever you get your podcasts. Remember to like and subscribe and ring that bell to be notified when new episodes are published. Find out more by going to www.bookinterrupted.com.
On Book Interrupted.
Never forget, every child matters.